Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about 10 weird habits of the narcissist. We're going to get into it today, and we're going to talk about how a narcissist is weird and their weird habits. So let me start in, all right? What's a weird habit of a narcissist? Number one, this is one of the most obvious ones, and this is a way to spot a narcissist as well. Narcissists never take accountability, all right? They can't deal with that. They can't deal with taking any kind of shame. So one of the habits of a narcissist is they just never, ever will say they're wrong. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to blame you for everything that goes wrong. So one of the weird habits of a narcissist is that it's never their fault, all right? It's always your fault or somebody else's fault, and they can't handle it. Another weird habit of a narcissist is that they can never resolve conflict, all right? Narcissist, when you try to resolve conflict with them, they're either going to run or they're going to rage, all right? So narcissists will never, ever, it'll always be difficult to try to work things out with a narcissist because, again, it's never their fault. And number two, you could just never, ever get any kind of resolution with them because, again, they can never be wrong. And they get angry when you bring things up to them. This is another habit with a narcissist. You try to clarify things with a narcissist, and instead of them being able to talk and work it out and see it from your point of view, they never see it from your point of view, okay? And even if you're right, they'll still never make you right if they have to take shame, all right? So a narcissist, another weird habit of a narcissist is they'll always get angry at you for bringing something up to them that they don't want to hear, okay? So a lot of times victims have to be, conditioned to shut their mouths in order to keep the peace because every time they try to bring something up to the narcissist, it's a problem, all right? Like I said, they're either going to run or run into a silent treatment or they might start raging out at you. So a lot of victims have learned to have to shut their mouth in order to keep the peace, all right? Now, we're going to get into it. Another weird habit of the narcissist is narcissists love to stay up late. Most of them stay up late. And a lot of times you'll be going to bed and they never go to bed when you go to bed, okay? And why is that? Because narcissists, they do things in the night that they're sneaky. So at night when you go to bed, they're on their phones, they're on social media, they're in inbox, and a lot of times they do this late at night. So one of the weird habits of a narcissist is they're always up late at night. And that's because that's when, the old saying, the wicked never sleeps, okay? So narcissists, one of their weird habits is that they'll never ever go to bed with you when you go to bed. Generally, they don't. They're always up late, and it's their way to be able to go sneak into another room, to text somebody, to go on social media, to maybe make a quick phone call to another supply when you're sleeping. All right. The other thing they like to do is they like to sleep in another room. See, when you are dealing with a narcissist, you're going to feel very disconnected from them. And that's because you are disconnected from them. Because most of them are living a whole other life that you don't even know about. So when nighttime comes, the narcissist, they're not on the same time schedule as you. And they like it that way because this gives them their freedom to do things when you're sleeping. The other thing another weird habit of the narcissist is they take hours to get ready, okay? You could be going, just to the store, or let's say just going for a walk somewhere with the narcissist. You're not even going anywhere where you need to get dressed up or ready, but the narcissist will take hours before leaving the house. They'll be in the bathroom for hours. It could be because they're texting other supply, or they're just staring at themselves in the mirror, okay? Because now they know they're going out in public and they're worried about their image and they want to make sure that there's not a hair out of place, not a piece of lint on their clothes, and they will take hours getting ready before you even leave the house. It's really annoying, you guys. One time I was dealing with a narcissist. It took him 2 hours just to get out the door. And guess where we were going? To a playground with kids, okay? It was like ridiculous. It was really ridiculous. And everybody's like waiting around for him. And he's in the bathroom staring at himself, all right? Next weird habit of the narcissist, okay? This is very typical of covert narcissists, by the way, is they love to show up late, okay? Covert narcissists feel like, they can come and go and do what they want. They don't have to answer to anybody. And one of the things they do is show up late to make their grand entrance, all right? So they like to make their grand entrance. They like to make people wait for them. It's a power control, all right? It's a sense of power. So everybody's waiting for them to show up. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? And they show up maybe an hour later or on their time because they want people to, always be looking for them. And also they like to control the situation. And, it's their way of showing control. Like they'll get there when they feel like getting there. Okay. They don't get there because you tell them to get there at a certain time. And a lot of times too, they show up late because they're with other supply. They're at another supply's house and then they're showing up to your house or showing up somewhere to meet you and they're late. That's because they may be running from another supply. Another weird habit of the narcissist, they leave early. And I've seen this a lot, like with family get-togethers. Narcissists love to leave early, okay? They make their grand entrance. They show up late, make their little entrance, put on their phony act to everybody. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. How you been? Hi. Okay. And then they always leave early, all right? Because they feel like, again, they're on the run. They may be running to another supply's house. And, they give you little time, but they don't want to spend their whole day there with you because you're not that important and they have other places to go. So that's one of the habits too. They'll leave early because they'll make up an excuse. Oh, I have to work tomorrow. Oh, I have to run to the store. Oh, I have to stop at the store and get something. Oh, I got to stop and get gas. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. And it could be like a holiday or a birthday. All right. They always have an excuse to have to run somewhere. And, they're there, but they're not there because they're always running somewhere, running to a store, running here, running there. And it's their way to get out and make their phone calls or text other people, all right? Because they're all over the place. So that's another habit of them. Now, what's another weird habit of the narcissist? Man, there's so many weird habits of the narcissist. I can go on all day on this, but these are the 10 common ones, you guys. Narcissists can't answer a question directly, all right? They gaslight you. So one of the common, weird habits of a narcissist is that you never get a straight answer out of these people. Never. Because they're a bunch of liars, constantly lying. So the narcissist is always, another habit of them is they're always gaslighting, all right? They're always confusing you. They like to leave people in the dark because this is their way of controlling you, confuse you, make you think that you're the problem, make you doubt yourself. So another weird habit is that, they constantly gaslighting you. And, this is what causes a lot of cognitive dissonance in the victim's brains, is that they're not dealing with somebody who's honest and open with them. Instead, you get a lot of word salad. The minute you're dealing with somebody, you guys, and let's say you ask them a question and they go into this whole big thing, they start talking about things that don't even relate to what you're asking them, then you're dealing with somebody who's trying to confuse you, somebody who's gaslighting you. You may say something to them like, oh, I saw you looking at, that person when we were out before. And they say, what? Looking at what? I don't know what you're talking about. my friend did this, or now they're going to bring in the friend. My friend did that, or my brother, and now they're going to start talking about something else. This is all to deflect from, what they did. It's their way to dodge accountability. So they're going to gaslight you. And this is another big habit of the narcissist, is to constantly gaslight, confuse you and make you, doubt what you saw. But after that whole big word salad that they give you, you're going to be sitting there and saying, maybe I got this wrong. Okay. Maybe I got this wrong. Or another weird habit of the narcissist is that they'll blatantly lie. They'll know they're lying, but they stick to that lie. They'll lie to you, right? And then you question them on the lie. And then they'll say something like, they'll just stick to the lie and say, no, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. And they did. But instead of giving in and saying you're right or taking the accountability, they'll stick to saying the lie, okay? And this too will, confuse the victim, because you're saying to yourself, well, maybe they are telling me the truth, because they're not, they're not backing down. They're not backing down. They keep saying the same thing. So maybe I got it wrong. Maybe they're not lying. No, trust and believe. They're lying, but they're playing a mind game with you, all right? That's another weird habit of a narcissist. Now, another weird habit of the narcissist, they tell you they love you, but then they act cold, okay? This is another thing that happens to victims all the time. They get love bombed by the narcissist, and then boom, right after the narcissist feels comfortable in the relationship, they all of a sudden switch up and they start to get cold. And why they're getting cold? Because they're being warm with another supply, okay? I talk about this time and time in my other videos and podcasts, all right? So it's another habit of theirs. They don't stay consistent, all right? It's always, I love you in the beginning, and I love you when I want to draw you back in. So the weird habit of the narcissist is they run hot and cold, all right? They run hot, cold, running hot and cold, running hot and cold. And, that's a red flag. You could be dealing with a narcissistic or toxic person, is the, change in the behaviors. They could be another weird habit, and I'm throwing this in, is, because I just thought about it, is the fact that they withhold affection. They like to do that as a means of control, to control you, so that you're always thirsty for them. So they'll say things like, oh, no, I don't want to, I don't want to have sex tonight, or no, I'm tired, or I'm real stressed out. I got a lot on my mind. They keep making excuses why they don't want to be intimate or affectionate with you. And that's another weird habit of a narcissist. And that's one of their habits, to control you, is to withhold that affection, attention, not want to kiss you, not want to hug you, not want to have sex with you. Okay. What are you doing with these people? Okay, get rid of them, all right? And their weird behaviors and trying to control you, okay? If they're not into you, goodbye, good luck. Take your games elsewhere. Not today, Satan, all right? Because you deserve better than that. You deserve better than somebody who's going to constantly be cold to you. And that's another weird habit of the narcissist. They run cold, especially the covert narcissist. They run cold, cold, cold. You feel alone. And, it's deliberate. It is deliberate, because they're playing mind games with you, okay? Another weird habit of the narcissist, they hide things, okay? They constantly are hiding everything. They hide things in the house. They move things in the house to drive you crazy. They want you to think you're going crazy. They'll move things around the house. Okay. They hide money. They hide what they're doing. They hide things on their phone. They're hiding everything. Okay. Because they don't trust you. They don't trust you, and they like secrets. So they're going to constantly be hiding things. Next weird habit of the narcissist, they steal things, all right? When you're dealing with a narcissist, and especially a covert narcissist, Now listen to me here, 99% of the time, you are dealing with a thief, okay? They're thieves. I'm telling you, I lived a lot of life. I seen a lot, all right? Growing up, marriage over 13 years, going through a nasty divorce over 3 years, being out in the dating world for years. I've seen a lot, and I'm telling you, covert narcissists are thieves, all right? So another weird habit of theirs is they love to rob you, okay? They may steal something in your house. They may rob you in other ways, okay? They'll rob your spirit. They'll take away your light. They rob your happiness. They rob your children. There's a lot of things, ways, weird habits of narcissists of how they steal from you. They steal your inheritances, okay? Another weird habit of the narcissist, they're copycats. Copycats, okay? They don't have their own, or they suppress their true self. And so they have this false self. And what they do is they copy you, okay? They may copy how you dress, how you talk, what you do. They copy what other people do. They steal business ideas. They steal reels and videos on YouTube pirates. They steal, okay? You got a lot of narcissistic pirates all over YouTube stealing content and ideas, all right? So this is your narcissist. They're copycats, they're thieves, because they're not authentic. All right? That's why you have all these AI videos. They're not authentic. They're stealing real creators' ideas, and they're making AI videos. So, a lot of times when people are using AI and using it consistently, they're not authentic. They're not putting out their own authentic content because, they're relying on AI to create it for them. So keep that in mind when you're deciding who's real and who's fake, who's, speaking from the heart, who's coming out and telling you, off their lips, rather than off a computer generated, all right? So weird habits of the narcissists are their copycats, and they're going to copy things that you do. I had a narcissistic friend. She used to copy the way I used to dress, things I used to do, things I would buy. And this is what they do, okay? Because they can't be their own true, authentic self. They suppress that, and they have this false self, and they try to copy you and take your identity and all of that, all right? So these are the weird habits of the narcissist, okay? And understand why narcissists do the things that they do, it's a survival tactic for them to try to protect themselves. I know it's weird, it's strange, it's hard for people to understand, but this is why they do these weird habits, all right? They don't take accountability, they stay up late, they sleep in another room most of the time, they take hours to get ready, they show up late, they leave early, they blame you, all right? They gaslight. You never get a straight answer when you question a narcissist. They can't answer a question directly. They run hot and cold. They tell you they love you, but they act cold. They hide things. They steal things. They copy you. And, the other thing that I want to throw in, one last thing, you guys, because I always like to put a complete podcast, okay? I want you to understand at the end of this so you know what you're dealing with. The other weird habit of narcissists is that they're very paranoid, all right? Especially the malignant narcissist. Very, very paranoid, because they are the most controlling narcissist. In my opinion, the malignant narcissist is the most controlling, and that's why they're the most dangerous, in the sense that, a malignant narcissist can physically hurt you. A covert malignant narcissist is probably the most dangerous, because they could physically hurt you and you don't see it coming, all right? But malignant narcissists are very, very controlling, and, one of the weird habits is that they're paranoid. They always think that you're doing something that you're not doing. They'll accuse you of cheating. They'll accuse you of lying. So you're sitting there always defending yourself because the narcissist is paranoid and always accusing you of everything, all right? It's horrible. So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button. Share the podcast, share the video. I can't believe I got through this podcast, you guys, because I've gotten broken sleep. All right, this is how it is when, you live with autism. But I'm glad I was able to get this information out to you. Also, check out, if you're looking for coaching, check out the link in the bio. I have limited time at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. And Facebook, Instagram is The Game EXP123, and TikTok is The Game Exposed. And have a great day.